what I like to have right now is for you highly emotional, highly sensitive grown boys and girls of society to exit my channel as I address and talk to mature adult men and women about topics that you get triggered on and are sensitive to. And with that being said, the title of this video is called The Wicked Agenda. The 9 areas of activity: education, economics, entertainment, labor, law, religion, politics, sex, and war. There seems to be a wicked agenda for 2 particular grown boys to succeed in all these areas of activity, and there be a blockade, a roadblock for other races of men. But I'm just going to address the main man, which is that biracial and mixed light-skinned man, to not succeeding. And we already know these 2 grown boys are that black grown boy and that white grown boy. Hell, you might even say the black man and white man. They are, in fact, gang stalkers and gatekeepers. Gang stalkers to biracial and mixed light-skinned men to succeed in life in all areas of activity in which I just mentioned. But there are a lot of mixed biracial light-skinned men who are very mature and strong and knock down those roadblocks and break down those barriers, particularly those gates, for these 2 demon clowns, which they don't like for us to do. There seems to be an agenda for these 2 particular, when I mentioned about the 9 areas of activity, when it comes to sex, for them to only breed with all races of women, and for them to be highly publicized in sports, movies, TV shows, commercials, and music as these 2 domineer alpha males, when we know this is far from the truth when it comes to these 2 individuals right here. We already know their agenda. We already know how they get down. We already know who they envy the most, which is biracial and mixed light-skinned men, period. They hate each other, but they got that one thing in common, like I mentioned in my previous videos. They hate and can't stand biracial and mixed light-skinned men. They seem to be the quote-unquote gatekeepers when it comes to sex with other races of women. They get very jealous, very envious when they see us with other non-black women. For the black boys, for the white boys, they get very belligerent and upset when they see us with Asian women or white women, Latino women, or mixed women. They want us with very unattractive or below average or average looking women so they can feel comfortable, so they can feel like as if they are more upper tier than us. And we know that's far from the truth. We already know that. But they seem to try to block us from having access to certain type of women because they know that us already being mixed or biracial, we were to have children with someone who is mixed as well, a mixed woman, a Latina woman, an Asian woman, or a white woman. How that child or children will come out. They hate that 100%, particularly that grown black boy. That white boy has just the same anger and hate, just like him. When it comes to economics, education, they don't want no one to go above them. That's why they strive so hard when it comes to these 9 areas of activity, especially with entertainment and education. They don't want, mind you, in sex as well. They don't want us to succeed. So they built all these barriers, all these blockades for us not to even move it an inch. But those who know, who are aware, they tend to figure it out and succeed and prevail, because that's what most mixed biracial light-skinned men do, as well as other biracial men. Don't necessarily have to be the cliche of the black and white. He could be black and Mexican, or Mexican and Asian, or black and Japanese, or Japanese and white. But you have to be very aware of their activity too, those type of biracial individuals, because they have the same hatred like that dark skinned, dark brown skinned grown boy and that white boy. We know when it comes to war, military, any type of field you'll go in, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, we see that there's a surge of just dark skin, dark brown skin boys and white boys. I see quite a bit of mixed and biracial light skinned men in the military as well. My brother being one of them, cousin being one of them, two friends of mine and my brothers that we know. And you get told the stories of them running their mouth, of course, while you in the military. You mixed, you biracial, you shouldn't be here. Shouldn't you be trying to lay up under a woman because you a pretty boy? Says the two main beta male simp cucks who constantly lay up under women, beg women, pussyfoot over women. We know that. All projecting at the end of the day. But this wicked agenda of them and all these areas, all these 9 areas of activity, sex, education, entertainment, to me being the main 3, these are the main 3 that they constantly focus on, because they want to be the alpha males of these 3 main areas of activity, particularly sex. Funny, they hate biracial and mixed light-skinned men, like I always say, but yet they're always chasing non-black women for the black boys. And for the white boys, they're always chasing non-white women. See, that goes to show you how corrupt, deviant, and wicked they are. They don't like biracial or mixed men, but yet they're constantly breeding with every other non-black or white to have children with. You ask yourself this question: are you going to hate your son? Low-key wise, more than likely they will. Sometimes they don't low-key nothing. They just hate them right off the bat. That's why they always wish for girls. Always wish for girls all the time. That's their mindset. They're crazy. But we all know the truth about these 2 deviant individuals, these 2 gang stalkers, want to be gatekeepers of everything. Like I mentioned again, the 9 areas of activity. We all know once they step out of America, they have no chance for no other race of woman. That's why they always have to pay to play. Because when you go to Brazil, to Puerto Rico, to Thailand, to Colombia, to the Philippines, you go somewhere to Germany, to France, you do not win. You don't win at all. I don't think you understand that. I don't think you understand where your place is when you go to these other countries, when you're trying to interact and breed with these women. You have no chance. You have absolutely no chance. But you keep believing in your little peanut brain of yours, that little thick skull of yours, that you have all the opportunities. We know what type of women and grown girls that you get and associate with. You're not getting the top tier of the middle and upper middle class and upper class of women. We already know you're getting the barmaids. We already know you're getting the street hookers. We already know you're getting the prostitutes, low-level escorts. We already know this. No need to deny it. No need to lie about it. We already know what's going on when it comes to you. We know your mindset. Well, some of us, that is. Some biracial and mixed men who I deem as males because they're right down the middle. I don't know if they're a man or a grown boy. We already know how some of them are delusional and they believe that there's some type of good in these two individuals right here. You do have other races of males who do act just like these two. But I'm focused on these two because these two are the main deviants who really do have a strong hatred for biracial and mixed light-skinned men. The 9 areas of activity in which I mentioned, they're the gang stalkers, try to be the overseers of us, biracial and mixed light-skinned men. I'm not biracial. On if we're going to succeed or not. And again, it's all reversed back to women. They're so fearful of us being in all these 9 areas of activity, particularly in the military, when it comes to education, entertainment. Anything that involves true masculinity. You can say the Army being one, the Navy, the Marines. They strive to not have us succeed. But we end up succeeding anyway and prevailing because that's what we do. You see it in sports. They want to have 2 particular race of men in sports. There is a mixture now. I'm starting to see it of a lot of biracial and mixed light-skinned men in all sports. And they truly hate that. You can see it in their faces. They can't hide it. They just can't. It's in them. The hatred is real, which is installed in, in most cases, not most cases, in some cases, but in most cases, it's ingrained. We know that they only strive better when we're not in any 9 areas of activity. And that is the truth. When they don't see any biracial or mixed light-skinned men in any of these 9 areas of activity, they feel very, very comfortable. They feel good. The moment we're there, all the insecurity, all the jealousy, all the envy rolled up in one shows up, and they can't help it. They can't help it. Well, they can, but we already know how they are. They're very sensitive. They're true, authentic, beta male mentality, effeminate mentality comes out. They're lost. In my opinion, and I think some other people see it, they're losing right now. That's why they're going crazy. That's why you see all these crazy things in the news right now with them sending other people to the other world, particularly women. They have no access to these top tier women that they so desperately want and yearn for on all these social media apps or in public, that they decided, well, if I can't have her, no one else can, so I'll just send her to the other world. And then you got these ones who really despise biracial and mixed light-skinned men. They just send them to the other world too, but there are things that the news don't cover and can't cover everything. But them doing this surge of sending people to the other world is very heavy right now. And they hide it not when it comes to this act of sensitivity and emotions. They don't like for any of us to succeed in these 9 areas of activity because at the end of the day, we know it all reverts back to certain women, certain races, ethnicities who will like us. Most of them do. But we all know that they have this low-key worry of, well, if I go in public with this guy, I'm going to get shamed. Some of these women and most of the grown girls feel ashamed to date a biracial or mixed light-skinned man. But the ones who don't care, they show it. They'll show it all over the internet. On these social media apps, you got the Instagram, you got the TikTok, you got the Facebook. Read the comments when a white woman or an Asian woman or a black, whether she's brown skin or dark brown, Latino woman says that they prefer mixed men, light-skinned men, or biracial men. Read the comments on what they say. They're so pissed off. They're so demonic acting. The agenda is for mainly biracial and mixed men not to breed with other women. Other women that they want, that they yearn for. So for that Asian, Latina, or white woman, these main three they don't want. Oh, they care when we do in fact breed with a black woman, especially when she's very attractive. They care about that, but she's if she's below average or average at best, hint hint, looking, they're okay with that. They don't mind that. But when she's above average looking, that's when it's a problem. The wicked agenda is for mixed and biracial light-skinned men not to breed with attractive women. They don't want us to have any type of joy or happiness when it comes to finance, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to overall happiness. And I'm telling you guys right now that you need to have a backbone and figure out how you're going to maneuver and work your way up to any type of field of all those 9 activities I mentioned, and not allow these goddamn gang stalkers, these gatekeepers, to try to stop you from succeeding in life. You have to be able to be strong and not be weak and fall by the wayside, as my dad will always tell us. To this day, he tells us that. Because if you really want to know the truth, that's the truth. They don't want us to succeed in these 9 areas of activity because we know that along with that comes with status, and women love status. Women love good looks. Women love money. And when you have all 3, they're going to go belligerent. They're going to go crazy. So let them go crazy and belligerent and work on yourself and push through the trials and tribulations which you go through. Hopefully you don't go through in life, dealing with these damn demon gatekeepers, or at least they try to be, but I know some guys will mention that they are. They work so hard day and night for light-skinned and biracial, said that wrong, excuse me, for biracial and mixed light-skinned men to succeed in life. This is what they do. They have no care, no worry. They just want to not see us succeed. That's why they make all these crazy comments on every social media platform to try to discourage you, to try to make you feel insecure about yourself. And if you're weak enough, you'll fall for it. You can't fall for it. I'm referring to the men who are in their early 20s, mid-20s, and late 20s. And for the men who are in their 30s, such as myself, you can't allow them to make you feel a certain way. I know they don't make me feel any kind of way. I can care less about what they think. Because if they say something smart to me, I'm going to say something smart to them back. But we know the main agenda. You can't be stupid. You can't be ignorant to how they want things to go. They see things through, rose-colored glasses. They want everyone to be the stereotypical, quintessential way, according to their race or mixture, so they can feel in place, like they're entitled to everything in life, particularly these attractive women, which they're not. So figure out what you're going to do. Don't be afraid in all these 9 areas of activity, and be smart and work your way up to succeed in life, and don't be afraid of these 2 goddamn demons, this black boy and white boy. And I'll see you in the next video.